Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Airspeed Reads Naruto video. This one's going to be my review for volume 53 of the Naruto manga. This one's called The Birth of Naruto. Really nice cover on this one, of course, because of the volume that it is. The Naruto family, Naruto, Kushina and Minato. And then on the back we kind of get a little bit of a what-if scenario of if they weren't killed, if Naruto grew up with parents, we'd have situations like this, and unfortunately we don't get them because of the tragedy of the backstory that we get here, but still really nice cover stuff here. 10 more chapters are covered in this volume. 495 to 504, Dark Naruto defeated, reunion with Nine Tails, Nine Tails versus Naruto, my Ma's red hair, a new seal, the birth of Naruto, Nine Tails attacks, the Fourth Lord's death match, Minato's Reaper death seal, and thank you. So overall, like, what can I say about this volume? It's definitely one of my favorites. In the anime, this sequence of episodes where Naruto tries to, you know, control the power of the Nine Tails, take some of the chakra from the Nine-Tailed Fox, and Kushina, his mother, talks to him. They're some of my favorite episodes, and reading it in the manga here, I think it's just as good. Because I think it's something that, like, yes, Kishimoto, what he does well is doing the backstory stuff, delving into characters. Like, he just recently, I think, really did quite well on the Itachi Sasuke stuff, and he's been doing really good character stuff in the last couple of volumes. But all of a sudden to now go for the big reveal, the exact details of what happened during the Nine-Tailed Fox attack that basically is the key event that kind of starts the plot of Naruto in a way. For him to delve into that and get it so right, while also being very emotional, but happy because Naruto's finally meeting his mother, it just worked so well, because I think Kushina is such a nice character in terms of her personality and how similar it is to Naruto, but also different in its own unique way, but being very clearly, you know, she's related to Naruto. Just getting to see some of the family dynamic is very, very good. But yeah, with this one there's so much I want to say, so I'm going to be quite bullet pointy here as to go through it. So the first key big thing that we get in this volume is Naruto tackling the Waterfall of Truth. Well, after the whole Motoi and Killer Bee thing, Killer Bee is like, you now should be able to, you know, defeat the Waterfall of Truth. You now should be able to tackle your dark self effectively. And how Naruto does it, I really like how he just kind of comes out and says, I have something to show you. This is my autograph. You know, #1 Hokage candidate Naruto. This is the autograph that I should have given to them. And how his dark side is kind of like, are you insulting me? Like, after all that the villagers did to us, you're willing to kind of give them the autographs that they looked for. They treated us like outcasts their entire life. How can you just be fine with this? And it's so interesting, you know, just the idea that, you know, he just says, you know, I need to believe in myself, I need to trust me, I need to trust the me that the villagers believe in. That, you know, he brings up Killer Bee, that, like, he has no doubts, he never sulks, he has pride. And he basically says, like, I know exactly what to do now. And he just hugs his dark side and says, since you are me, you need to be me. Thanks for everything, but it's all right now. Just that he basically says, it's thanks to you kind of highlighting these, you know, kind of angers, these issues, that I was able to realize what my goal was, so that these angers and issues wouldn't, you know, cloud me in the same way that, like, Sasuke has. Thanks to you, I've been able to get to this point, but now you just need to be part of me now. That's it's really nicely done how to do it. I think it's a little bit more emphasized in the anime, and I think overall the anime, I think, did that specific scene a bit better, because you got the voice acting and the music, and I think the animation did it really well. But it's still a very nice moment nonetheless. So after that, the key thing is just that they go inside of the kind of waterfall temple, and it's this specific place for Jinchuriki to try and control their tailed beast. And we have Naruto unlocking the seal, letting the Nine Tails out, and basically fighting it initially. And what's impressive here is that Naruto actually kind of gains the advantage in the early stages of the fight, that he actually is, you know, doing well with Sage Mode and stuff like that, And it's actually not until he begins to pull the chakra out of the Nine Tails that he begins to kind of uh, lose a bit in the fight. In that, as was stated before, the Nine Tails is basically a mass of hatred. So when he starts to touch that chakra, it's just like, I hate you, and it's all of this stuff coming back out, and the darkness is beginning to overwhelm him. Until it's kind of stopped by Naruto meeting his mother. And it's later revealed, of course, that the reason that this is the case is that, similar to Minato, a certain amount of each of their chakras was left inside of Naruto to come to the surface at the right point where Naruto needed their advice. And Naruto trying to control the Nine Tails was the activation requirement for basically Kushina to come out and talk to him. And I loved this first little interaction between the two, because initially he's just like, is this some kind of true form of the Nine Tails here to trick me? And it takes her kind of getting angry at him and saying, you're wrong, and then being like, oh, sorry, I got confused there, I was born impatient, I talk so fast sometimes the things that's mixed up and people don't know what I'm going on about, I get excited and just say whatever I'm thinking, I hope you came out okay without any weird quirks like mine. And she's just about to say, I'm your mother, when Naruto just hugs her and knows who she is. Mainly because of the whole thing. Just the fact that, like, when we saw Minato, it's like, okay, so that explains Naruto's kind of, hair color, and kind of, he sort of looks like Minato to a degree, so you can see the resemblance there. But in terms of Naruto's personality, you can see that it almost completely comes from his mother. The personality. Kushina is different in a way, because Naruto doesn't tend to get the angry thing. He doesn't have the red hot habanero kind of aspect of his mother. In that's the more cool and collected stuff from Minato. So you can sort of see that Naruto is a blend of the two. That he's not so overly kind of clear with his emotions like perhaps Kushina, but he is calmer a little bit like Minato. So it's really nice to see that, and they kind of just joke a bit about like how she constantly keeps saying and it reminds him of himself and so on. But you get little moments like this as they kind of lead into the story of how Kushina and Minato met, which is the first thing that Naruto asks his mother. But that comes to play because he basically says, oh, I got my good looks from you, right? I even wish I'd gotten your red hair, it's really nice. And Naruto doesn't realize it, but he's given Kushina the most amazing compliment here, because she says, she starts laughing, giggling, and says, you're now the second man to have praised my red hair. Who was the first? Your father. And we get this kind of backstory of the fact that, okay, she came to Konoha from a different land, and immediately kind of said to everyone, I want to be the first female Hokage. Minato stood up and said, I also want to become Hokage. And she just thought that, this Minato guy, he seems rather girly and undependable. And she just realizes that, I didn't want to be snubbed by everyone, so I said that sort of thing. I was still young and didn't know anything back then, so I looked down on Minato until a certain incident when she was kidnapped. And we start to get the reveal here that Kushina is important. She was brought to the Leaf Village for a reason, because she has this special power with her chakra that has an effect on tailed beasts. But one of the other nations tried to kidnap her, and it was Minato who followed her because she dropped bits of her red hair along the way for someone to come and find her. Minato was the only one who followed it, and that's when we get the reveal that he's the one who really liked her hair, and so noted it being on the ground and followed her to save her. And she just notes how she was kind of bullied because of her red hair, but she's loved her red hair since then because it led to her finding love. It led to her kind of destiny with Minato coming into play, and I suppose now her son Naruto also complimenting her red hair. So just a nice little bit of backstory there with Kushina, but we get more later on. And she just says, there are certain words I only bestow on the men who compliment my red hair. Will you accept them, Naruto? I love you. So really, really nice kind of mother and son moments, and we just get this really nice little bit at the end where Kushina kind of sets Naruto up and says, if you put the yellow flash of Konoha together with the red hot habanero, and Naruto says, you get Konoha's orange Hokage. So just bringing the color stuff together there, why Naruto wears orange, and it's kind of thematic with his parents. But then they fight the Nine Tails. So Kushina reveals that her power is that she can use her chakra to make these chakra chains, which can hold down the Nine-Tailed Fox, and this allows Naruto to kind of get the advantage back in the fight again. He uses Sage Mode and gets the advantage over the Nine-Tailed Fox after like a crazy Rasengan barrage attack, and we get the first look at potentially what Naruto's form using the Nine-Tails chakra in a good way is, not being consumed by like anger. So we start to get to look at that. But yeah, he seals the Nine-Tails away, and I think notably here, he says to the Nine-Tails, I promise I won't do wrong by you, so just hang in there for a little while. That he's starting to realize that there's more to the Nine-Tailed Fox than just this beast that's made of energy. That it's angry, it's full of hate for a reason, and Naruto is going to try and tackle that, because I think he's beginning to realize that he wants to have a relationship with the Nine-Tailed Fox like Killer Bee has with the Eight Tails. But yeah, the big reveal that comes in the next side of the story as we go into the story of Naruto's birth is Kushina reveals that the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails before you was me. And she goes into her backstory by saying she was brought there from the land of Eddies, which is a clan, the Uzumaki clan, were distant blood relatives with the Senju clan, and they had a good relationship. And the people of the Uzumaki clan were known for having, brimming with vitality, having a lot of chakra, and being excellent at sealing jutsu, which is why Minato knows how to use the tetragram seal that is used on Naruto, because Kushina thought him coming from the land that specializes in sealing jutsu. She then reveals that the first Hokage's wife, Mito Uzumaki, was the first Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and she was the one after Mito. And kind of it became a tradition that like the people of the Uzumaki clan were known for being able to suppress the Nine Tails because of their vitality. And just she begins to note some stuff that it was thanks to Mito kind of talking to her just prior to her becoming the Jinchuriki that really helped her to accept her life as a Jinchuriki. That she says here, I was so lonely, the responsibility almost ruined me, but then Leto Mito told me that though we both came to Konoha to become Jinchuriki, the key was to fill ourselves with love first. And Naruto realizes that his mother was happy as a Jinchuriki even because she was filled with love, and that there's a way to be happy as a Jinchuriki. Yeah, then we get into the proper bit of the backstory, and the key reveal being here that the reason that this event happened at this specific point in time, the day of Naruto's birth basically, is because the aim was always to get the Nine-Tailed Fox, and the only reason that the Nine-Tailed Fox was taken out of Kushina was because the seal of the Nine-Tails within her was at its weakest during childbirth, and so Toby used this to his advantage to attack during the key moment when the seal would have been weakest, in the immediate moments just before or after childbirth. And we get some really nice moments here as in the flashback we prepare for the birth of Naruto, and Sarutobi's involved with the preparations for this. She's gonna give birth in the barrier outside the village just in case something goes wrong, because there's always the chance of the Nine-Tailed Fox escaping. We see Kushina meet Mikoto, who's Sasuke's mother, who has just recently had Sasuke. So Sasuke is older than Naruto, of course. And we get that they know each other a little bit, primarily because they're mothers at a similar time. Even though obviously Mikoto has had Itachi prior to this. But yeah, just a little joke there of just she asks Mikoto, does it hurt to give birth? And we immediately transition to her in crazy pain, actually giving birth, and we get the birth of Naruto here. Nice to just have it happen in the book, and it's a temporarily happy moment. But then suddenly, Sarutobi's wife is killed, the Onbu member is killed, and Toby is there, Madara Toby, whatever way you want to call him, is holding Naruto and is threatening him. And here's where it all breaks down. It all starts to go wrong. Minato manages to take Naruto back and bring him to safety, but then he goes back to get Kushina, but Kushina has in the meantime been taken by Toby and has basically had the Nine-Tailed Fox ripped out of her. And the key reveal that we get here is that You Uzumaki are shinobi are just amazing. You don't die right away after the Biju is extracted. So with Gaara and everyone else, they were killed immediately the second the tail beast was taken out of them. But Kushina is still alive here. And what's even more impressive is that this has happened just after she's given birth. So she's gone through two crazy things and she's still alive. But the implication is that she is kind of dying here unless she gets a lot of medical attention. But anyway, Minato comes back for her and brings her next to Naruto. As we basically see Minato go out as the fourth Hokage, and we get the setup for his really big moments as the fourth Hokage. The reason he is seen as a legend within the village, what he did that day to kind of stop the Nine Tails. He blocks one of the giant Biju ball attacks from the Nine Tails by teleporting it away, and then battles Toby one-on-one. And we get some of the really impressive stuff here. This fight in the anime especially is really nicely done, but it actually shows very well in the manga here, the whole, throwing the kunai through Toby's head, teleporting as it comes out the other side and getting the advantage on Toby. Being one of the first characters in the show to hit Toby with an attack highlights how skilled Minato is. Really, really cool fight that we get there. But yeah, a lot of stuff happens here. We get the temporary cutaway to seeing what happened to Iruka's parents, that they're injured in the battle. They go away, they tell Iruka to go to safety, and they're later killed. We see Kakashi and Guy want to get involved in this incident, but basically that generations of older shinobi is basically asking the younger members of this is Kakashi at 16, 18 or something like that, are told to no, you guys, you're the next generation, you have to survive. We will be involved in this. So this is why Kakashi really wasn't involved all that much in the battle with the Nine-Tailed Fox. But yeah, from there, Minato transports the Nine-Tails away from the village with Kushina and Naruto, and they're going to have to deal with the Nine-Tails here. The Nine-Tails has been freed from Toby's control. They just have to deal with the fact that there is now Tailed Beast rampaging around near the village. And what happens here is that it's revealed that basically Kushina is dying at this point in time. And she basically decides that one thing I can do is that I can take the Nine-Tails to my death, so that at least there'll be time until the Nine-Tailed Fox reforms itself for the village to get back and prepare. I'll die in the process, but at least you'll be there to look after Naruto. But Minato makes the decision that no, what has to happen is that for the sake of the village, we are both going to have to die here. We will both get our chances to talk to Naruto when he's older. We'll seal parts of our chakra within Naruto. But to protect the village, we have to seal the fox away now. Otherwise, the village will come under attack again at a later point. It has to be sealed away. So they come to this conclusion between them after a little bit of arguing. It's established that this is the first argument within their relationship that Minato ever won against Kushina. But that Minato sees that Naruto has the potential to be the child of prophecy that Jiraiya told him about, and decides that what has to happen is that he has to seal half of the Nine-Tailed Fox within Naruto, and then seal the other half away using the Reaper Death Seal. All the while implanting some of his chakra and the rest of Kushina's chakra within Naruto. It's a really, really tragic decision that they have to make, that this is the day of Naruto's birth, it's his birthday, it's their first day as parents. But to protect the village, this is what they have to do, sacrifice themselves to save the village. And it's super tragic what happens, as they're about to do it, the Nine-Tails kind of breaks free and stabs through both of them. It's just, everything's piling on top of each other. And again, this speaks to Kushina's resilience here. She's given birth, had a tail beast extracted from her, stabbed through the stomach, and is still alive long enough to give a final speech to Naruto as the kind of final moment of her being alive with him. And it's the typical kind of a mother speech, but it's so nice, but also tragic knowing what happens here. Don't be a picky eater, and we know he becomes a picky eater, only really eating ramen. Don't stay up late, get plenty of sleep. she goes into the whole thing about when you're older, you know, it's fine to like girls, but they are problematic at times. I know because I am a girl, and you know, watch out for Jiraiya. He's a bit frivolous with some of this stuff, and so on. And Minato's just like, I echo what your mother says, and as they kind of are sealed away, and Naruto at the end is just like, you know, Kushina basically apologizes to Naruto for the decisions that they had to make the day he was born and what that's kind of caused his life to be like. But he basically says, you know, don't apologize. Okay, I went through a lot because I was a Jinchuriki, but I would never blame you two for that. I never really had parents since you weren't around, but I do now. Both of you died for me, and now I know you always loved me. I'm happy. I'm glad I'm your kid. And we end with kind of Kushina's last moments with Naruto, just like, thank you for letting me become a mother and Minato a father. Thank you so much for having been born to us, as we end the volume. Just with Naruto kind of in control, he's developed the power that he needs to, but he also has grown because he's met his mother now and now knows the truth behind his birth, what his parents did for him, and everything that they kind of bequeathed to him basically going forward in terms of like the child of prophecy. They did what they had to do because they had confidence that eventually Naruto would get to the point where he could bring balance to the world in a way. So I probably skipped over a lot of subtle details, but there was a lot to this that I wanted to cover. I love this volume. I love the backstory, the flashback, Kushina, Minato, the whole family dynamic here. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of Naruto. I thought it was really well written, well drawn, and just paced really nicely. So there's not this. I can't put into words how much I like this volume and this story. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the volume. But yeah, volume 54 we'll do next week, and we're definitely moving in towards the war arc and the last couple of volumes of the series now. So that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.